which includes Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Cisco, the network providers, Oracle, the database managers, all these companies. The founders found the ideas on campus through various activities that were undertaken on campus. So the university campus is a very important place for innovation. So I'm excited to know that the Vice Chancellor and the school is coming up with an innovation lab, because if you go to the outside world where they've done it before, most of these ideas came about from their labs. They experimented, they played with it, and the best of ideas were supported by the entire ecosystem and the government to ensure that they are commercialized and sold to the entire world, and then they make billions of dollars, sometimes trillions. If you take the total value of any one of these companies, it is bigger than the GDP of our entire country. The output of one company. That is what innovation can do. That is what technology support can do. That is what producing or providing the right environment to support innovation can do. So the universities have to set up their innovation support activities on campus, so that as the students are here, they'll be able to play around ideas that they are interested in to come up with various prototypes, which can then be commercialized into products which can be sold or even exported into the international market. I've also realized that over the years, entrepreneurship is gradually being introduced into the universities. When we were in school, I didn't know of any entrepreneurship university. Now there is an entrepreneurship university. I think Akatapiaminka is an entrepreneurship university, and almost all the business schools are running entrepreneurship programs, even if not at the first degree level, at the master's level, entrepreneurship programs are being run. All this will help, bring out the enterprise skills in young people of Ghana, so that they will know that it is possible. Because if you go through the entrepreneurship theories, how you have to try and fail and try again, and the case studies and the examples of how various entrepreneurs made it, all this will go a long way to encourage other young people to also take up entrepreneurship and step out there boldly to do their entrepreneurship activities. The gentleman who developed the Ghana Post GPS system for Ministry of Communication and Ghana Post was my mate at K University when I was reading computer science. He's an example of how ideas can be gotten on campus and developed further, and with government support, it can be scaled to serve the whole nation. There are several examples. The Haptel guys were also on K University, and most of the fintechs and the startups, these are guys who were on our various university campuses. They got ideas on campus. They started those businesses after school, and gradually their value has gone up now. There's also the need for the universities to collaborate with the startups and entrepreneurship ecosystem to provide this technical support, this business development support for the ecosystem. They do training. The knowledge is in the university. The knowledge is in the business schools. So how is the university collaborating with the Ghana Hubs Network, the startup community, the Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, and all the various entrepreneurship groups in the country to ensure that when they are doing the training, the marketing and the strategy and the entrepreneurship and the business courses which are supposed to be taught are done by the universities, because that is the citadel of knowledge. That is where the knowledge is. So, Doc, there's a need for us to also create those channels and have linkages with the startups groups, so that when they are doing their programs, they will invite the lecturers for them to also go and impact the knowledge they have. So, if you come to my place, for instance, NEIP, we do collaborate a lot with academia. Last year, we did training for 25,000 youth in agric under the Ghana Cares of Batapa program. The training was in tubers, cereals, aquaculture, and other areas. And what we did was to collaborate with the agric departments of the universities and the agric colleges to get faculty support to do this. So if it is Tamale that we are doing the training, we'll go to the UDS, and then we will fall on the agric professors and doctors there to help us to teach those courses, because I don't think anybody can teach aquaculture better than a professor or a doctor in aquaculture. So that collaboration between the academia and industry, between academia and government is very, very important. Also, under same business development support and technical support, industry helps there. About 3-4 years ago, when I was at the digital center as MD, Oracle came to Ghana and said they wanted to provide some technical assistance to startups in Ghana by way of provision of virtual resources on their platforms. So the Oracle services that they sell, instead of giving money to the startups, they would rather give some of those resources online to the startups. And under the Ministry of Communication, we did the implementation, went around the country, did needs assessment, and saw that some of them needed some database management services, and Oracle provided those virtual resources for them to do the work. So that is an example of how industry can also provide technical support to startups to nurture and ensure that they grow. Globally, Google also does very well. The Google that we all know in providing support for startups. Currently, about 3 startups from Ghana, Belt, Kudigo, and Zuberi, are part of the 60 startups who have been supported under the Google for Startups Black Funders Fund for Africa. And under this, the startups will receive ongoing hands-on business and technical mentorship from Google's network of mentors, facilitators, and learn the best practices on a range of topics from artificial intelligence, organizational culture, people management, to growth strategies. So even though Google provides funding for startups, they are also providing business development support through their technical support program. Another important area is funding. Every business needs funds. Every innovator, every inventor, somebody who has an idea to take a prototype or an idea to market needs funding support. How can universities help with funding? The universities can seek for various entrepreneurship research funds for their students while on campus, for them to do experimentation with their ideas and prototypes before they step up to try to commercialize those ideas. Industries can also invest in startups. I just cited a Google example where they are providing support for 60 startups across the country, and 3 of these companies are Ghanaian companies, and they're providing them with $100,000 each as a start. Recently, I also attended a program at MTN under the MTN Ghana Foundation. They are providing a seed capital of 1 million cedis to 100 startups starting from this year. So all these are examples of how industry can also provide funding support to develop innovators or entrepreneurs. Access to market and technology, very, very important. Whatever product you have, you need to take it to market to make money. And you need technology support for the business to survive, because we are in a tech era, and if you don't apply technology, you'll be put out of your space. Industries like companies like Google, Amazon, Oracle provide cloud services as part of the technology support to startups. Industry can also do hand-holding by providing internship opportunities in their marketing and sales departments for innovators and startups. MTN is one of the best marketing companies. Look at how they penetrated the Ghanaian market with mobile money, and how they beat their competitors to it, and how they have become the majority shareholder. And now the Ministry of Communication is even implementing a policy to dilute their strength on the market, because they think they've become a sole shareholders on the market. So imagine having a group of innovators, a group of startups or entrepreneurs from Wisconsin go to the MTN sales department, go to their fintech mobile money marketing department to have internship there to learn about the marketing that they practice, how they do it. These are some of the ways academia and industry can collaborate to help our entrepreneurs learn about market access, how they can sell their products and services. The next one is infrastructure support for innovation. Also very, very important. You need infrastructure to do the experimentation. You need the infrastructure to innovate. If you go to the Accra Digital Center now, we have Innovation Hub, we have a tech lab, and MTN is coming to help the government by even building a 6-story new ICT hub, which will have AI labs, robotics labs, and all the emerging technology labs. And this will help all innovators in Accra, all tech-inclined enterprises in Accra or Ghana at large to come there and innovate. So infrastructure is very, very important. That is why I think the universities should also have their innovation labs. Every university should actually at least have an innovation lab in their entrepreneurship and innovation hub, so that those who are tech-inclined can play with the devices and tools there to improve on their ideas. And if I talk about innovation and technology, it's not only technology businesses. If it is agri-business, if it is a health business, no matter the sector is, you still need to apply technology to improve on your product. So it refers to products across all sectors of the economy, not only technology products. Team building, forming partnerships on campus, very, very important. Most of the companies I mentioned, Facebook, Google, and the rest, the students came together and formed partnerships of 2, 3, before going out. That is one thing Ghanaians we don't do too well in. Everybody wants to have their own business. So one of the things we should inculcate in our students as they're on campus is the forming of partnerships. Somebody could be a programmer designing the application, another can come from the business school with the marketing skills, another can come from another department with another skills, and you have the entire complement of what the team should have and take your product out there. So as I said, to conclude, there is a focus on building an entrepreneurial state that empowers young people to be bold, innovative, proactive, and dynamic to contribute to the economic transformation of our country. And academia and industry have a critical role to play to help government to achieve this. To help us create jobs for the youth, to reduce importation through our import substitution programs, and also achieve fiscal consolidation for the country so that we stop going to IMF to borrow. Prof, I want to assure you that before I take my seat that we will do whatever we can to support your innovation center and forge a strong partnership with Wisconsin University too. So there are some backroom conversations that I will have with
CEO. Let's give him a better round of applause. Let's do it better, please. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and your guidance. Once again, sincere apologies for those of you at the back. You struggle to hear. We are live on Facebook. Please log on. We have the program on live on Facebook. So if you are at the back and you're having difficulty hearing, you can log in and the sound there is much better. I want to also use this opportunity to remind you once again that speaking of startups, speaking of innovation, on Friday is the day we're going to have some of our students showcase what they have. Honorable, I want to plead with you. I know you may not be able to make it on the day, but please, if you can send a rep to come and hear and listen to what our students have, I'm sure we'll be able to have the next big startup in Ghana from Wisconsin on Friday. Yes, we are looking forward to. And please, we want all of you to be present. We are going to go into the next speaker, but before then, we're going to have a very short interlude while we reflect on what and the CEO for the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program has told us. Yes, Billy, are you ready? Okay, all right, over to you. Wow. Let's give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? So please subscribe. Billy. Already, I'm sure most of them will be subscribing after this. If you want to learn how to play the piano, the guitar, the flute, the drum, we do all that there at Wisconsin Music School. Please make time and visit them. Thank you very much, Billy. Do we have another go? You want more? Yeah, maybe one more. And then something hip hop, or hip life. All right, so let's give him another chance, please. And you can sing along if you recognize the music. In the meantime, I want to remind you, tomorrow we are having a workshop on how to effectively pitch and make a pitching competition. It is at 1 p.m. Please make time and join us, and you learn a thing or two about how to pitch business ideas. You are free to dance, please, if you want to. The dean has taken the floor. Please sing along. I want you. I want you, Papa. This is typical high life. And while we are at it, I want to remind you, the music school offers short courses in sound engineering. We also have degree in music. You can sign up while you pursue your degree course. And if you have a choir in church, you can speak to the music director. We also offer services for our studio. If you are a budding musician and you want to record your music, we have a state-of-the-art music studio where you can record. And you are sure to meet Billy to guide you through every step of the way. We have the best. Thank you very much, Billy. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you once again that we would have the opportunity of getting our questions answered during the question and answer session. So please take note of your questions when the time comes. We'll give you the opportunity and we hope to get answers to it. We'll go straight to the next speaker, and I'll invite Mr. Eric Heffron to introduce to us the next speaker. Please clap for him. He's your lecturer. If you don't do it well, you know the repercussion. You people want marks for clapping.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. President, Chair Council, Honorable Kofi, CEO, Dean, Registrar, fellow lecturers, good afternoon. The second speaker is going to talk on sustaining business in the midst of crisis. And Mr. Bernard Bimpong is the one to take us through. He is an auditor, a financial accountant, a management consultant, and a managing partner of JS Molu, a chartered accountant, and the Molu is a management consultancy firm in Ghana with a head office in Virginia. He has done a lot of things in taxation, banking, accounting, auditing, and I guess he has the wherewithal to tell us what to do in the midst of crisis. So, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, please welcome me to, help me to welcome Mr. Bimpong to this occasion. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the MC. Okay, so Dean of Students, Mrs. Loretta Tete, Mr. Chairman, and the President of the University, Dean of Business School, and other lecturers who are here. My colleague, Speaker, CEO of NEPA, and students, and my colleague office workers. It's a great honor to be here today. In fact, I was very happy to be invited to speak on this topic. Like the first speaker said, during our time, rarely will you see such programs. And so you are fortunate enough to be exposed to some of these things whilst in school. My topic presupposes or suggests that you are already in business, okay, and you are facing problem. But don't worry, maybe you are yet to enter into a business. We will find a way to make you benefit from this program, even as you think of starting a business, so that it doesn't take away the benefit from my audience. Because I know most of us are students, and you might not be exposed to owning or running a business. And so I would like us to appreciate pre-business post pillars of sustainability. I will talk about them. And I will focus on sustainability governance for the purpose of today's presentation. Then I'll draw my conclusion, and if there is any questions, I take them. So first of all, and my purpose of bringing this also is for you to identify crisis. Some people are unable to identify crisis, and when the crisis start coming, they may sit down until they draw dead. And at that time, it's no more a crisis. Well, I don't know how to term it, maybe a disaster, or you are done. But your early identification of crisis will make you rethink, and then you know how to approach it. So we pick these definitions, as you can see on the board. Crisis, as defined by Oxford Dictionary, is a time of intense difficulty, trouble, or danger. And I will define crisis as a situation or event that pose significant challenges or threats to individuals, groups, organizations, or even the entire society. What am I trying to say here? Crisis can occur at every stage, at any stage. Individually, it can occur to you. No one else will know, but you should be able to identify you are in crisis. And I can cite you as a student. Maybe something happened in the house. Your parents used to send you money every month. First month, it doesn't come. Second month, it doesn't come. You need to identify that you are in crisis. Now, you don't wait till you are sacked from the school. You need to know that, no, this. So basically, that's crisis for you, and I want you to be able to identify. It's very important. If you are unable to identify it, the rest of presentation will not be meaningful. Then we talk about sustainability, and I'll go ahead to say, in simple terms, the ability to be maintained at a certain level or rate, to be maintained, sustaining something. Then, when it comes to the second page, second paragraph, also for the purpose of today's lecture, we will dive deeper and define sustainability as the ability to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. Now, what this one means is that, and always I try to be practical, so no matter how small my example is, try and expand it in your own way. So for instance, if your grandfather or your family has maybe a gold in the house, how do you manage that gold to meet your current needs? And at the same time, the next generation that will come after you will also benefit from it. So that's simple way I can put this. And a lot of countries use it. I can cite Dubai. They identify oil. Okay, oil is non-renewable. So how do we use it? And then in the future, if the oil is not there, how do future generation also benefit from it? So most countries use it. No matter how small this definition is, it's just telling you that whatever you are benefiting or whatever you are using to sustain yourself, how do the next generation also come and meet it? and they also benefit from it. You don't kill them before they are born. So basically that's sustainability, sustaining something. And I'm sure it's everyday English that we understand. And it's not sustaining yourself and die, like you are on a life support, not that. Sustaining yourself beyond that. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is what I'm introducing, I'll be using for my entire presentation. The 3 pillars of sustainability. We may Google, we may learn more about it, and then try and benefit from it, because this is the way to go in the world of business, in governance, and globally. It's acceptable principle or pillars that we even have investors who will peruse your business plan to see if you meet all this even before funding you. And we have shareholders and other interested parties who will request a company to report on this very topic. This very acronym. And so we may take it very serious. We might not get everything, but please, let's try, understand it, and see how we dive into it. So, sustainability encompasses 3 interconnected pillars. We are talking about environmental, social, and governance sustainability. These are the 3 principles that we will use. Some call it economic, social, environmental, but these are the 3 things that we will stand on. I'll go deep into it, and then let's go to that. Okay, so the first one is sustainability, environmental sustainability. And I read, this aspect of sustainability focuses on protecting and preserving natural resources, ecosystems, and biodiversity. It involves reducing carbon emission, conserving natural resources, promoting renewable energy, and adopting sustainable agriculture and forestry practices. And the major elements under it are climate change, resource depletion, pollution, social license, and then CRS. So let me briefly explain this. Anytime you are starting a business and your business is a threat to climate change, I don't think my speaker here will assist you. I don't think you will do that. So anytime you are coming up with a business idea, just look around. If it has an iota of threat on the climate change, maybe you want to go into galamsey operation, I don't think they will support you because it is a threat to their nature. We have resource depletion, and in this one, in simple terms, is when you are using the resources more than or more frequent than it is coming back. So for instance, if your parents send you 200 CD a month, okay, and it's every month, and you are using it faster than the next one comes, it means you are depleting your resources. And so any business that you intend to go in, or even if you are in a business and you try to deplete the resources that you have, remember you can never be sustained. It cannot sustain you. So that's aspect of pollution. We are all aware of it, and I don't want to dive into it. That's if your activities is destroying the air. Social license is something that is also crucial, where the community or the area, you have a project, the community say, hey, we don't want this project. You don't get their buy-in. They are nothing, they might not have been in school before, but your billion project might not be able to see the light if they feel that your activity is a threat to them. So what do you do as a business person when you are going into such a situation? And so project management will tell you how to engage your stakeholders in order to get their buy-in. Explain your projects for them to understand before you go in. Then the corporate social responsibility is something that normally companies do to help the communities that they affect. Please, let's go. Okay, the next one is social sustainability. And this focus on promoting social equity and well-being, including human rights, access to education, healthcare, and safe working conditions. So this one has to do with your employees, your suppliers, consumers, and communities. That is this one. How you manage them during crisis. I won't go deep because my focus really is on the next one, sustainability governance. So this is where I'll dwell on, and I'll go through all these principles. In fact, I was happy when my other colleague mentioned the sixth one. Even if you don't take anything away, and you take number 6 out, because it has collided. He mentioned it, and I'm mentioning it, and that should tell you something. And it's something that we don't want to do, or we don't have appetite for, as blacks or as Ghanaians. And so I want you to take that as a very important item. So, let's go. Okay. So, responsible leadership. Responsible leadership. This is defined as is a practice of leading with a focus on sustainability and social responsibility while creating long-term value for stakeholders. Responsible leaders take a holistic and long-term view considering the social, environmental, and economic impact of their decisions and actions. So this one has to do with, and I think Wisconsin, the leadership have been, I'll mark them on this score in the sense that they've identified that it might not be a crisis, but they've identified the growing trend of unemployment and decide that why not, fine, we are producing this kind of people, why not bring in certain things that will make them self-dependent, self-employed. And that's responsible leadership, being focused or forehead, being ahead of your game. Let's go. Okay, so I will cite this as an example to see how I've used this place as an example. I want to use this one as an example. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Kaiser Permanent conducted a thorough resource profiling exercise to identify the critical resources needed to respond to the crisis. This includes profiling their medical supplies, staffing levels, and medical equipment such as ventilators. Based on the result of the profiling exercise, Kaiser was able to quickly reallocate resources to areas of great need, such as increasing the number of intensive care beds and redeploying staff to COVID-19. So this one is telling you how the leadership are thinking when crisis came. I was reading and I came across what do you call them? Ethiopia Airline. Remember during COVID when there was lockdown, Air Namibia shut down. South Africa Airline also shut down. Kenya Airline nearly died, but some way, somehow they survived. Now, Ethiopia Airline is still reigning. What happened? They have nice, beautiful Airbuses, but now people are not traveling with, the human beings are not traveling. So what do? They converted some of them into cargo to take goods, to keep the revenue coming. And so if you don't do that, if there's a crisis like that, and you are not able to identify that this is a crisis, and rethink or revisit your normal process, what will happen to you is death. You collapse. And so that's what responsible leadership does, and that's what I want you to take away. I want you to be able to identify. I'll continue to hammer on it because you get all these principles, but if you are unable to identify them when they are coming, you may sit there and the ultimate risk will happen to you. Let's go. The next one is corporate governance, and first I thought I was going to gallop this by realizing most people are, some of us are not business students. I would like to, let me use the second definition. Corporate governance is the structure of rules, practices, and processes used to direct and manage a company. So, company operate in a certain framework, a certain rules, a certain legal and structure. And so, if you are setting up a company and you forget or you don't put those structures in place, what you realize that you cannot even sustain the business, let alone in terms of crisis. Because here are two things. Sustaining your business is one thing, and being able to sustain it in terms of crisis is another thing. And so this corporate governance issue is an element under governance sustainability. And having it in place, having the rules, having the regulations, having the practices, the principles, having your structure. I'm sure here you have structure. You have maybe board of directors. You have people who are managing, the company at a certain level. You might have even internal auditors and all those people. So having those structure in place in itself helps you to sustain your business. And when crisis came, these are the people that need to rethink, because the business itself is an entity that needs to think on its own. But if you don't have the points in place to think for the business, if you don't have the legal frame and all the things that the legal entity needs to stand, then you are dead even before, you're deaf. So let's go to that next. So we are using corporate governance as a tool. So I read, businesses operate in the different sectors of the economy. Their practices and depth of exposure to environmental, social, and governance risk are equally not the same. So this slide, what I mean is how a mining company's activity will impact on environment might be different from how a banking institution might impact on the environment. So I'm saying here that when you are setting up a business, you need to identify where you belong and know which and how your activity impact on the ESQ. Business leaders must have their corporate governance blueprint developed by considering their specific industry dynamics and circumstances, help set priorities and the responsibilities of stakeholders towards achieving their sustainability goals. All come together to suggest to you that not all companies are the same. You need to identify that and acknowledge, and you don't go and pick somebody's sustainability or ESG principle or policy and dump it on yourself, because somebody's activity or operation and how it impacts on environment, social, and even governance might not be the same as yours. And I want you to identify that. Now we come to still under governance sustainability, we come to internal controls. So, and I explain. Internal controls are the accounting and auditing processes used in the company's finance department that ensure the integrity of financing reporting and regulatory compliance. All that this English is saying is that internal controls are the rules and the regulations that govern the day-to-day activities of your organization. And so where there is crisis, first of all, you need to have this for sustainable, business. You need to have this. Now, where there's crisis, what do you do to this? And that's where you need to understand. So, for instance, if Wisconsin has internal control that says that every maybe around 8 o'clock, all students should be in the classroom with register or clock in. Now, there's a crisis. There is a pandemic, and you have been asked to stay home. You have been innovative enough to say that, okay, we are using Zoom or whatever means to do what? To give lecture. Now, you realize that that internal control process that you put there will not be relevant anymore. So there will be a need to revise, to go back to say that, okay, we're using ABCD to check attendance. So now that situation has changed, how do we check attendance to make sure that people are actually participating? So those are the thinking around this. Let's go. Now we come to auditing. Auditing, we have all kinds of auditing, but for the purpose of today, I'm using internal audits and then external audits as a way of communicating. External audit is an independent examination of an organizational financial statement and records by an external auditor. So external auditors do this. They are very independent of your organization. And this is where I'm saying that most organizations are now being requested to add ESG to their reporting. So you don't just report the financials. You also report how responsible the company also is when it comes to these three acronyms. Now, the next one is internal auditor. And internal auditor's function, though he's part of the company or organization, he works for people who are not directly involved in the day-to-day work. So let me put the structure in place. So we have board of directors who don't come, you don't even see them. You might not even know them till you die. They are there. Then we have management. They are doing the day-to-day running of the business. Now, the internal auditor's function is to check the policies that they are the police. In fact, they are the police. They are checking the law, that is your policies, against what you are actually doing. And then, together with management, they report to the board. So, I was discussing this issue with someone, and I told them that the strength of your internal audit is equal to your board of directors. Where your internal audit is weak, the board is weak, because that's where they get their information from. And so, if we are starting a business, fine, beginning you might not be able to afford certain class, but put the principle in place that you need internal audit who will supersede all that management is doing and report to someone. You knowing that you are being reported to someone is enough recipe for you to sit up. And so it's very important to identify this function. And these are the people who will come to you and say that, hey, board, the policy that everybody should clock in is not working anymore, because when I checked the clocking, it was 0, but people are still attending classes. So let's review it. So this guy is the one that will help you to review some of your policies that are outmoded in terms of crisis and even for your sustainability. Next. Okay. Now, my other speakers did mention of innovation and technology. And at this day and age, we can never speak without these two. They go together. And in terms of crisis, it becomes more important for us to adopt. Now, innovation refers to the process of introducing new ideas, products, processes, or services that create value for individuals, organizations, and society. Then The other side talks about technology. Technology refers to the application of scientific knowledge and engineering principles to create new products, system, blah, blah. So what it means here is technology might be existing. I'm trying to distinguish the two. Technology might be existing, but innovative way of using it. If you don't have that, you might lose out in terms of crisis. So I cite example as the drone delivery. Okay, drones were there, people were using it to take pictures and so on. So the technology is there, but for you to identify that my roads are not good, and so let me use it to transport the medicines and so on in its own way is an innovation or innovative idea. You can also come up with innovative idea where the technology is not there at all, where you are coming out with new idea to make it happen. No, I don't want to. Yeah. So what I want to dwell on again is collaboration and partnerships, and I think this is more relevant to us as students, and we have seen example. My other colleague did mention example where students have come together to create a working tool. Okay, so as students, my advice to you is to identify your friends. You know, some are bees, right? They have the money, okay? Some too have the idea. Some too can talk. Okay, me, I don't see any problem with somebody's behavior, because every behavior or all the behaviors, you can channel it to get, some economic benefit from it. I hope you understand. So identify them, identify the points. He did mention marketing, accounting, administration. Even if you are what do you call it, IT. Okay, just think of this. If you are IT student or IT engineering, software engineering, come to think of it, you collaborating with accounting students will be able to produce a better accounting software than an IT company who doesn't have that knowledge. So you need to identify your friends and know and accept each and everyone's strength. They are all the same. Just accept it. Try to work with it. The differences will come. Don't let it sway you or to say that, oh, I want to go alone. That if you are going alone, like they used to say, you'll be faster going alone, but you may crash. But if you want to go far and further, then you need to collaborate. And those who sponsor or give money to startups will tell you that I think they are more comfortable giving to a group, maybe 3 who have come together, than a single person. So you need to be thinking about collaboration and partnerships. Okay, in terms of, let me cite this one, CBG issue or the banking crisis. We have been fortunate to have we have witnessed more crises in the day. Yeah, so these ones are not things that we are reading in the books. They are things that we have experienced from 2017 during financial crisis. So we've experienced the local one, we've experienced pandemic, global one, and we've experienced Russia, Ukraine, and all those. So we are all aware and know what crisis is and how they come. Now, if you are a CBG or those companies that were operating during the banking cleanup, now what is the issue? The issue is that recapitalization. So if you cannot do a loan, why don't you join your colleague, put resources together and say, okay, Bank of Ghana, here we are. We have 600 million. But you sit down thinking that, oh, they will not do it, they will do it. You are not being responsible, leader. That's why I'm saying your ability to identify the crisis when they are coming is very key. You don't wait till you die. So you end up sitting there thinking that, oh, they will talk, they won't do it, blah, 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 without taking ahead a step to, on your own, join. Okay, you have money, I have this skill. But if you keep on fighting for who become the MD, you sit there and then you crash. So those are the things that I want you to pick from this slide. And no matter how small I spoke about it, it's very important for your sustainability, even in terms of crisis. So in conclusion, the role of business school and industry in developing the next generation of entrepreneurs and innovators cannot be overstated. I mean, the topic is on point and is very good at this time and age where we have experienced crisis ourselves. And they have produced the needed resources, okay? They've produced the needed resources. We are speaking to you, we are talking about you. Even if you don't get anything from me, I want you to get your capability to identify crisis early enough. That one is a key. It's something that if you're able to take away in your own life, try and identify the crisis. And when it's coming, don't say that is the end of your life. You can rethink, revise all your notes, and then see a better way of doing the same thing or achieving the same results that you want to achieve. Go on. Okay. So I'm focusing on this. Time didn't permit me to talk up all social elements or environmental elements. I did my best to talk about governance, but it goes deeper than that. So I want you to focus on this ESG as you come out of school, and even in school. Learn them, study them, and then see how best it will impact your idea in seeing your idea becoming a reality or establishing a business out of the idea, the collaboration that by God's grace, I know you'll be hammering on. Thank you very much. And if you have any other question, or I wait for questions. So thank you very much and have a good day.
All right, so let's do it better for Mr. Malu. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And this is what we do at Wisconsin University. The nursing students here, I noticed we're fidgeting with your phones. I hoped that you were actually following the program on Facebook, because this is as important to you as your, nursing programs. Because as you step out of Wisconsin University, you aspire to be in management position. And these are things you need to give you that competitive edge from students from other universities. So it's important that you take full of everything that is being said here. Thank you very much, sir, once again. That was quite... All right, so we are going to take your questions. A lot of you were taking notes, and I'm sure you have some gray areas you want further clarification on. But before we do that, as I mentioned earlier, this program has been made possible by the kind support of ExpressPay. And they are here with some very exciting packages for you. If we have the reps from ExpressPay, can you please come and tell us what you have while we take your questions? And then on the sidelines, speaking of innovation and the next big things in terms of creativity, entrepreneurship, we also have the team from HR Focus. How many of you recall HR Focus? Wisconsin was part of the competition some years ago, and we beat the likes of KNUST, University of Ghana. We came only second to UCC. How many of you recollect? Yes, that is how good we are, and we commend our lecturers in the business school. They are on the search for the next champion this year, and they notice how good we are, and they are here to tell us what you need to know or what you need to do to be part of this year's competition. We're also going to give them some 10 minutes this year. All right, but before that, I want to hand over the mic to one of the reps from the Express Pay to tell us the good news. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Nuruddin. Hello, everyone, and a very good afternoon to you all. So my name is Nasa, and I'm head of marketing at Express Pay. And I hope you've all enjoyed the program. There's some learning curves that everybody has picked up, because at the end of the day, that's the whole essence of it. So I hope that has happened. I also just wanted to tell everybody a little bit about Express Pay. But by show of hands, who knows Express Pay, or who has heard of Express Pay before? Okay. And how many of those who have heard of Express Pay have actually used it before? Oh, wow. Okay, great. So that's actually why we are here, because what we're also trying to do is to drive visibility about the product and get a lot more people engaged with it. So Express Pay is, let's say, a wallet on your phone. So Express Pay is a company that was set up about 10 years ago by 4 entrepreneurs as well. When they were in uni, then they came up with this bright idea about how do we solve payment issues in Ghana? How do we ensure that people have convenience when they are paying for their stuff? How do we ensure that people get fast, safe, reliable services just from a click and a tap on their phones? Then that birthed Express Pay. So essentially, what Express Pay allows you to do is to be able to buy airtime, pay for your DSTV bill, send money to your friends, family, anybody, from your mobile wallet to bank accounts, or vice versa, from your bank account, various mobile money wallets in Ghana. Some people also in the UK are able to send money through Express Pay to friends and family in Ghana. And this terminates automatically into your wallet or your mobile phone. So it's a great app. It's easy, it's reliable, 24-hour service with our customer service team. That's one thing that we like to brag about, and we own the whole bragging rights to that. If it's 3 a.m., our customer service team will actually call you back to solve all your issues, because money matter, as you all know, it's not a small thing. So we ensure that everybody is actually really, really happy, and the service keeps running. The service also never fails. So we are wanting to entreat everybody here to actually download the app, try Express Pay, use it to send money, send airtime, pay your school fees, buy data, pay for your DSTV bills, pay for, buy airtime and stuff for people. Mother's Day is coming. Use that to send money to all your lovely moms and moms-to-be as well. So as part of us being here today, we actually want to see if some of you or all of you will download the app and make a transaction. And then there's a nice random prize for one of the highest transactions that actually happens here. I think last week what we did was we were giving out airtime to those who had downloaded and used the app. That was last week. But today we're actually going to do more. We're going to do something more grandiose. So I'm not going to say that. But I think behind me, or Western Puller banner, that has the scan to download. You can just, pull out your phones, scan, download, set it up, make a transaction immediately, and the highest transaction today is going to go away with something super, super cool. So I'll just end here. If anybody has any questions about the app or the product or the service, then you can let me know. Okay. So I just got some great news. I hear Express Pay empties bank accounts fast. I actually take that to be a great thing, because that means the service works very fast. It's convenient, so it allows you to seamlessly make all your transactions. So that's a great thing. So that's a good testimony. Thank you. We are fast. Yes, sir. Shall I come to you?
My question is quite simple. I would like to know how secure is the app? Because with internet right now, with online services, we can have hackers. So how secure is it?
That's a good question, and that's a very, very important question as well. Emmanuel, do you want to take that? But I'll start with how secure it is. The app and all its systems are all built here in Ghana. We don't sit on any cloud sitting somewhere else. So we build everything ourselves so that we can actually ensure that everybody's card details, Momo details are all safe, and the only way you are going to get hacked is if you yourself allow yourself. You know, when people call you and say, oh, you know, you've just received some money through ExpressPay, click this. That's your doing. But in terms of people actually hacking into our system, it's never happened.
Okay, so to add to what my boss just said, right? So there's the first part where even as a payment platform, you are supposed to have some sort of certification, okay? So ExpressPay is PCI DSS certified. This actually means that for card holders, right, we are able to secure their card details to prevent hackers from actually getting access to their card details. Apart from that, we are ISO certified, actually. So for any organization, right, you need to meet some sort of standards when it comes to when it comes to, let's say, international structures, right? So ExpressPay has actually gone through that. Apart from that, I know what will probably be on your mind is when you are performing transaction, how secure is ExpressPay? So you can't just take your phone and use someone's mobile money wallet to perform a transaction. You have to go through some sort of authorization, you understand? And even with a card, we call something card verification on our platform, where before you are able to perform a transaction or send money, you have to confirm that you are the rightful owner or you have authorization to be able to perform that transaction, and a whole lot more when you are logging in and all that. So I can assure you that ExpressPay is actually quite secure. We wouldn't be in the system for like 10 years.
Exactly. Any other question? Yes, ma'am. I think there's a mic. There's a mic going on. There's a lady.
Okay, so I want to ask, I use mobile money and I use it to pay bills. I used to buy airtime and all. So what's the difference between mobile money and ExpressPay?
So I get that a lot. So what ExpressPay allows you to do is to be able to load. So let me ask you a question. Apart from mobile money, do you have a bank account? Do you use your bank account too? Do you use your, okay, good. So what ExpressPay allows you to do, like I said in the beginning, it's an app within your phone, or a wallet within your phone, sorry. So it allows you to be able to put all your, for convenience, and we're all about convenience and ease and speed. It allows you to be able to load all your bank cards, your Momo wallets, etc., onto the app. So once you go to the app, you can decide that, okay, today I want to move the money from my MTN to maybe my mom's bank account. Okay, so with ExpressPay, once you've loaded all your different bank accounts and Momo wallets in there, you don't have to keep, going into picking up your Vodafone to do a transaction, picking up your MTN to do a transaction. It all happens in one place. And there are also added advantages with our app. When, say, you have your mobile money on there, right, on the app, and you have a bank account on the app, and say you traveled to, I don't know, Ivory Coast, Togo, the US, and you remember, oh, I have to pay my DSTV bill. You can't dial *170# or, you can't dial short codes generally from outside the region. But once you have it on the app, and because it's web-based, you can immediately go on there and then pull money from your MTN to bank or to pay for your airtime or your fees, etc. Does that answer your question? So it basically just it gives you that extra convenience of putting all your payment options in one place. The services are pretty much the same, but it allows you that extra convenience of having your wallet everywhere you go with you, and an added benefit, because on the app as well, there are different services that you would not necessarily find on the Momo, because what we'll do is that we list different things. So there are different schools there. You can pay your tithes, you can pay for your, what else? You can, your DSTV easily, and it remembers you. So you don't have to put in your DSTV codes again. If you paid your mom before, it remembers you. So you just have to just repeat that payment. You can also set recurring payments on your Express Pay. So for example, oh, I have to buy, or I have to send my mom 20 CDs every week. You can just set that on your Express Pay, and it automatically pulls the money from your bank accounts to pay all these people. You can set multiple scheduled payments to do all of that. So those are some of the perks but we like for people to explore. And as you explore, you begin to find very exciting things. And when you use like something like our bank direct, which allows you to move money from your bank account to any bank account, you don't pay any e-levy for payments that you make up to 20,000 CDs a day. So those are some of the nice things. And on Express Pay as well, when you're paying merchants, you don't pay any e-levy. So if you were paying your fees and your school is listed as a merchant, with GRA, you pay without any e-levies attached to it. Okay, thank you very much. So we have the thing up outside, the pull-up. So please do well to scan, pay, and then we will make any transaction, and then we will immediately give a surprise. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Also to remind you that Express Pay has a desk outside. If you have any question or any follow-up you want to do, you can visit them on their desk. We are still taking questions for the first speaker and the second speaker. But while we are at it, we want to give HR Focus. Are you here? Are you ready? HR Focus. We are getting to the tail end of the program. If your questions are ready, please, you can put your hands up and we'll take it.
Any question?
All right, so just a little bit of order. If you have any question, just stand up, mention your name, your program, and then identify who the question is directed to. But before we do that, can we give HR Focus 5 minutes to tell us what they have to tell us, how to be part of this year's competition, and what they'll be looking out for. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We're not strangers to Wisconsin. We've been with Wisconsin, especially in this competition before. My name is Irabna Nikwe. I'm the head of HR Focus. HR Focus is a unit under Lene Services Limited. It's a human resource organization that has been in existence for almost 30 years. HR Focus is responsible for HR marketing and communications. And among many things, what we do is organize the Business Challenge competition every year, and that's what we're here to talk to you about. So, about HR Focus, we do a lot of marketing and communications for HR departments. We've been doing it for ourselves. We organize yearly events, award events for HRs. We organize events for students to be able to bridge the gap between the world of education and the world of work. And one of those events is the Business Challenge. Another is the Career Clinic events that we do every year. We also publish quarterly magazines, the HR Focus Quarterly Magazine, as the name suggests. It's targeted towards human resource and anybody that's interested in the world of work. So that's what we do on a regular basis. So these are some pictures of some of the events that we've been doing. We've been doing it for over a decade. So it's something that we do and we do really well. So about the Business Challenge, we've been organizing Business Challenge every year for the past 6 to 7 years. And initially it started as a business case study competition where teams from different schools come to represent their schools and compete on business cases. They study issues in the world of work and provide solutions on the spot. As the years grew by, we adjusted the system because of COVID. We couldn't have schools coming in their teams, so we had individual representations. Right now, what Business Challenge is we're displaying the schools that have participated in the past. We have Wisconsin, Kwame Nkrumah University, UPSA, a lot of schools, Ashesi, UG Business School, and Pentecost University, All Nations University. And what we're here to do is to tell you what the competition is about. We have some slides showing Wisconsin in the past. This is Business Challenge 2019, Wisconsin team members. Next slide. 2020, one of Wisconsin's team members, Kayla, she's here. Your own Kayla made it to the finals. She was outstanding. She presented, that year was COVID year, so from the comfort of her home, she sent in a video, pitched herself, pitched her school, represented her school very well, and she came in and wowed the judges to the finals. So this is her video. Oh, the audio is not too good.
My name is Kayla Charity Gerald, and I'm a third-year student at Wisconsin International University College. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to work with great companies in different industries, such as Talent in Africa, Citizens, Manifesto, and currently Africa Skills Hub, where I'm the head of Women Initiative Programs and Connecting.
So we have it on social media. My colleague will tell you in detail how you benefit from the competition, but this year, we're doing the competition in a bigger and better way than we've ever done before. There's going to be different challenges on different levels. We have, it's going to be, if you know of Amazing Race, it's going to be something like Amazing Race. There's going to be a target, and you're going to be given a time, a number of resources and brands to work with to be able to go through some challenges and come out with a product that's with a solution that would put you ahead of your competitors. So you can sign up in teams of 2, and the point is for you to practicalize the business sense that you can get on campus. So there are certain things that I am an entrepreneur as well. And when I was in school, they taught us about entrepreneurship. My school goes on and on about entrepreneurship. But when you go on the field, it's a completely different ball game. And one thing that we like to do in this competition is to give you mentoring opportunities to interact with people and actually see the reality as a business person. So these are some of the previous winners that we had from 2016 all the way to 2022. That was just last year. So my colleague Delis would speak to us about why you should participate and the benefits that you would get.
Okay, thank you very much, Erabna. There are several reasons why you should participate in this year's business challenge. Number one is the fact that UPSA has won several times. They've been dominant. I think it is high time somebody from Wisconsin also picks up the reins and puts yourself on the map. So for our prizes, we have a whopping 10,000 Ghana cedis. And the person who wins gets to take this away, including paraphernalia and other items from some of our sponsors. In the past, we've partnered with MTN, we've partnered with Standard Chartered Bank, and this year we are hoping to partner with even bigger and better brands. You also get the opportunity to be at the sitting table with some top-tier executives and very renowned entrepreneurs, and then you get to receive capacity building, trainings, and a mentorship from some of these people. And also the bragging rights of being the winner of the Business Challenge 2023. So we'll show you a video of what happened at last year's event. So last year we switched it up a little. We asked participants to form teams of 2. So they came in and they were given a task. The first task was they were given products from MTN and they were asked to sell the products to the judges. So they all had to make a compelling point as to why the judges should buy the products from them. This scene was from the scavenger hunt also. They were given some products to sell to the general public. It's a situation of, can you sell water to somebody at the beach? You are giving items to someone, to the participants, and then you go out there and you sell it at any amount you want. Following them, some of them sold magazines at ridiculous prices, and they were able to convince strangers on the streets of Adabraka to buy the products from them. Another part was also the scavenger hunt, where they are asked to pick products from different places and from the different brands that are on board with us. So you see them with some clues on cards, where they were running around the streets trying to find one clue, from clue to clue, to get the items that they need. This year we are going to be doing all of this and more. So we urge you all to come on board and participate in this year's event. So are we ready to participate in this year's business challenge? Oh, how many of us are excited? Please show by hand. So, as you know, the winner takes home the 10K. I don't know, but nowadays the economy is hard, so 10K is a lot of money. To register, you can come to our desk at the back there, and then we'll help you to register. And then also you can visit event.hrfocus.com/business challenge. Please bear in mind that the challenge is for students. You can form teams of 2 with your friends, and then you register together. Thank you very much, and we hope to see all of you in Business Challenge 2023.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, HR Focus. Kayla, please, Mr. Chairman, with your permission. Kayla, I want to put you on the spot. We couldn't hear your video. Please come and tell us how it was as a product of Wisconsin participating in this competition. I have a first question, though. You know, Wisconsin is a truly international university. We have an international community. Is it strictly for Ghanaians, or students from other countries can represent the university?
They can represent, but the problem is they would have to be present for some of the tasks and the challenges. So once they can do that, we have no problem.
Well, Kayla just completed last year. She is one of our finest graduates. She's shining the light out there for Wisconsin. How was it being part of this?
Okay, this is really spot on, but I'll try. First, it was very nerve-wracking because, like she said, there were a lot of reps from UPSA, Legon, business. I was so intimidated. I was the only Wisconsin person there. And so it really challenged me to stand out, regardless of the masses that were there. That was the first about being part of the challenge. It tested my my core as an individual and an entrepreneur. So that's the first thing. And then also the fact that I had Mr. Adai. Mr. Adai, where are you? Please, can we give a hand for Mr. Adai? Every single time I was just terrified of moving forward, or I had to go and do my presentation. Mr. Adai will be there to guide me through. Mr. Adai was like, Kayla, okay, have you sent your video? Have you done it? Okay, and I remember I was so overwhelmed during the process because, one, I was an entrepreneur, I was a student, I was working with a company, and I had a business challenge to do, 4 things at a go, and I was really struggling. So I really appreciated Mr. Adai always being in the loop to make sure that I was there, because the dean of UPSA was always on the phone with his rep. Like, the morale from the camp was high. And so, like, knowing that I had someone in Wisconsin, a lecturer who was passionate about it, also really helped. So I encourage you to join, because Mr. Hayford, Mr. Adai, and there are so many wonderful lecturers here who are willing to push you up there. There are so many benefits to joining this. Because of this, I'm known. The last time I met, I met the general, the director, and he was like, Kayla, okay, can we do something with you? Now I have goodwill with so many brands, and I must say my confidence has really boosted a lot. I can go anywhere and I can speak to anyone regardless of the position, and I'm very confident about it. And I'm able to adapt easily to a lot of things, because they throw a lot of tasks at you, and you have to, on your feet, come up with ideas. And so it builds you all around in different places. I entrust all of you to join. I'll be so glad to be in the team that mentors you alongside Mr. Hayford and Mr. Dai, and make sure that this year we are winning.
Thank you, Kayla, and continue to shine the light. If you're ever in doubt the kind of products we churn out at Wisconsin, this is the proof. We have everything to make you a great graduate. And in fact, Kayla has also been featured on the Joy News and other media platforms on the some of the good work she's doing. Thank you very much, HR Focus. And if you have any question, you can visit their desk and you get your questions answered. We are just at the pinnacle of the program. Yes, we are going to take 3 questions, and then we'll have the vote of thanks and the closing prayer. We have refreshments. As you step out, I understand you need to pen down your names as you step out. Pick your refreshment. And then the dignitaries, we are meeting on the first floor, room 206, I believe. That's where our refreshment is being held. I'll give the mic to the Dean of the Humanities and Social Sciences, Dr. Akwasam, who has a...
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. My question and suggestion, basically, the first one goes to Mr. Nkansa. Mr. Nkansa, your outfit is a brainchild of this current administration. I hope so. Good. What is the future of your outfit? That the MPP government has just almost 1.5 years to exit office. What will be the future of this outfit? I am asking this question because NAPCO seems to have faded out. It was also a brilliant idea and it didn't work. 2, how is your outfit going to help champion national internship programs for university students? Most of our students during long vac go out there and they are kicked away by employers. But we have process product innovations. People observe, see what go on, and so on and so forth, and they come up with ideas. So what will your outfit do to make it a national policy that every institution should open its door to a graduate, a program with a student who is on a degree program, wanting to have something, maybe even foot his own laurel fair or whatever, without anything from the organization. Doors must be open to people. And the last one is this. The idea of the protection of infant industries originated from the United States, where entrepreneurship ideas and innovations, actually originated from. And one of the key principles was that if your infant industries will survive, protect them against foreign aggressors or aggression. Now, if you look at our automobile industry in Ghana, Apostle Kojo Safo was championing the cause of our, development. Suddenly, the government under whose this thing you serve, umbrella you serve, has brought in Renault, Sinotrack, and other, car manufacturing companies to set up assembling plants in Ghana here. What is the future of our local, entrepreneurs in terms of the automobile industry?
Thank you. Hello. Thank you for the questions, Doc. The first one was on what? MPP being booted out. Okay, yeah. I'm not too sure about that one. Because that will be determined on December 7th, right? Next year. We had then a 2-term Nigerian government going into another term, so nobody knows what will happen. But it's still a very good question. Sustainability. So the history of NEIP is that the president had intention of setting up a vehicle to provide integrated national support for startups and small businesses in 2016. So when we came into office, he compared the manifesto to the system that was in the government already, and the NDC government then had set up Youth Enterprise Support, YES, in 2014. So it had some similarities with what the president wanted to do with NEF, even though it was in our manifesto right from 2012, 2016. So it was the Youth Enterprise Support which was transformed into National Enterprise. It was a very small office at the Office of the President, which was transformed into the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, and a business development ministry was set up to support the NEIV, and that was what Honorable Awal Mohammed was heading. Now it has been scrapped and sent back to Ministry of Trade, and we are currently under Ministry of Finance. We are in the processes of getting a legal framework to govern the activities of the agency. So we want to call it the Ghana Innovation and Startups Agency, to oversee the work of innovations and startups in the country, and to get a law to legalize it so that that mandate will be there, so that no government can just come and change it. But since it started under NDC and it was transformed into NEIP, I guess entrepreneurship support is something that every government will want to do to support. I recently heard from their camp an idea to merge some of those agencies, Ghana Enterprise Agency, NEIP, Maslock, Venture Capital Trust Fund, and the rest. I have a different opinion, because agencies which look after 70% of the agency, of the GDP of the economy, if these agencies have different focus areas and they are all working in the ecosystem, it will come together to help the agency. NEIP, or the new Ghana Innovation and Startups Agency, will focus on taking the prototypes, commercializing them, patenting, intellectual property, licensing. We have this ranking of World International Property Agency. It is the Chinese and the Japanese who always top, because we don't focus on taking these ideas and patenting them and even giving the rights to the inventors. You need an agency to focus on that. If you go to Kenya, they have the Kenyan National Innovation Agency, which focuses on bringing innovations and commercializing them. South Africa has the Technology Innovation Agency, which does same. All these countries also have their own SME support agencies, like the way we have our Ghana Enterprises Agency. Because the cottage industries, if you go to the grassroots, the villages, the industries there, their focus areas and the support they need is different from what a tech product from, let's say, Kenya University campus or Wisconsin campus would need to be transformed to become. So that is how I see it. But all this will depend on how a future president will see it. You know, so it is something that you cannot predict, because President Kufuor came and created private sector ministry, and others came and collapsed them. President Kufuor came and created his own ministry, others came and collapsed them. So it all depends on what the government of the day would think of this program. But this is my personal opinion on this. And the second one was on the infant industries and the foreigners. I'm not too sure about that. If you look at the GRA laws, for instance, there is a tax holiday for all infant industries where the founders are less than 35 years. You know, tax holidays for the first 5 years. The foreigners don't have that. Most of the startups in the country are local. Sorry? Yeah, that's for the automobile industry.
Yes.
Yes.
Allowing other foreign counterparts to come in.
Okay. So on the automobile industry one, my question is, if Ghana becomes an automobile hub where we do the fabrication and the manufacturing, it has its own advantages. Look at what China has become for the world now. It has become the factory of the world. They don't lack jobs. When Apple is doing the assembly, they take it to China. Even Samsung, which is a Korean company, some of their products are assembled in China. You know, and another bit is that we don't have the local capacity to do what Apostle Safo is doing. The kind of automobile development policy, the tax incentives there, the materials you can import, the tax holidays, and all the incentives there, Apostle Safo has them. He is enjoying all the incentives just as Sinotrack, VW, Nissan, and Toyota are enjoying them. But he's the only one. Apostle Safo has his own limitations. He's producing pickups, and government is even buying directly. The National Identification Authority and Finance Ministry and other ministries have bought pickups, and sometimes even when orders are made, they cannot supply because they have capacity issues. it will take time for them to grow. So we cannot say we should give the whole automobile industry to one Ghanaian because he's the only one doing it now. But when the Japanese come with their Nissan, and the Chinese come with their Sinotrack, and the Germans come with their VW, we also do knowledge transfer and exchanges to our local technicians, and they also get the know-how. And we also get jobs for our people. And don't forget, when the manufacturing is done well, we can also export from here. Most of the pickups we use in Ghana are from South Africa. They are Nissan pickups, the hard bodies. They are manufactured in South Africa because they created the conducive environment for that assembly and that manufacturing there. That is exactly what we are doing. So if tomorrow we are able to upgrade these manufacturing plants in Ghana, and we are the hub, automobile hub for the sub-region, West Africa, and the 400 million West African market, all the cars that are being supplied are being manufactured or assembled in Ghana. It is a plus for us. As we wait for our own local entrepreneurs to enter the automobile industry, we should make do with the foreigners, the assembly, so that at least we can export and also get jobs for our people. And the third one was? Good question. The internship program, I think it is the mandate of the Youth Employment Agency to do that. So the university can speak to them on this. What we can do as National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program is to link those who will be interested in doing their internship on the size of our beneficiaries to them. For instance, Sandra Oswald does shoes. A lady who does shoes, we supported her. She does so well. If somebody from Wisconsin Business School wants to go and study how this startup is doing and will be comfortable on a shoemaking site, why not? The gentleman who is doing Chicken Man, Pizza Man, he is also an NEIP beneficiary. He is doing so well. If somebody from the accounting department wants to go and study how the accounting system works, how they collect, their revenue and how they do the debiting and all that, why not? So that is what we can do. We can link students to our beneficiaries. But typically, you have students asking for MTN, VRA, GMPC, MPA, and those places. And those places are choked. They don't have office space to, accommodate all of them for internship. So if they will come down and accept internship opportunities in startups and SMEs, we can facilitate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable. Yes, please. How many more questions we have to go, please? Just this one, right? Okay, all right. Please mention your name and who your question is directed to.
My name is Jerry France. The question is directed to any of them. I'm a young man who has been in business for quite some time, probably like 12 to 13 years, But the thing is, when we come to forums like this, it is being spoken or said, it looks like, it is easy for you to enter. And when you enter, that's it. But to be frank, I've been in business for a long time, 12 years now. It was only 2 years ago that I was able to get to a certain level where I think, okay, my business has begun, growing to acquire some assets and things to do the business. So the perception out there shouldn't be like, entry into business or trying to be an entrepreneur, then that's it. Within the shortest possible time, you are coming to make money. Intentions and perception should be, for me, my intention is not money. I am building a business or something that will grow to become something big in the nation. I'm into printing and general supplies. And when where I had the issue was, I had a contract with a multinational company where I needed money to finance the project or the contract. I was to brand some outlets in out Accra and Eastern region. And I had to go through a hell of time. I went to Maslock, I went to bank, I went to all places. And they didn't believe in what I was. Then I have to be sending my contract to people that, I have won this contract and this is the amount. So individuals from all places gathered money for me to be able to execute that thing. But as I'm saying, it doesn't look that easy out there. As we are speaking here, that when we are ready to help you or support you, as I'm saying, there are government facilities who owes me a lot. I went to them to even pay me so that I can execute that contract. They couldn't give me my money. So, I mean, people are owing me from 2020. Government facilities, hospital facilities I've been working with, owing me from 2020 till now. So how will a young guy who wants to establish something or build himself, at the end of the day, they're talking, they will talk, but it is not real, as in how we are saying it here.
All right, so that is a hypothetical question. Yes, so our honorable wants to address.
Hello. Hello. Entrepreneurship is not easy, but we have a choice. There are no alternatives because the other opportunities are non-existent. You know, in my earlier presentation, I mentioned the limited opportunities in the formal sector, both public and private. So the only way to create a successful enterprise, to be able to absorb other young people, is through what you are doing. And don't you listen to the entrepreneurs? All of them have such stories. It's like a zigzag. It is difficult, but they are the richest too. Nothing difficult comes easy. I just Googled startups that fail, and the page which came is what? Forbes. For those of you who can see from afar, 90% of startups fail. Here is why. What do you know about the 10% which succeed? So all businesses restart. This is Forbes, so very credible statistics platform for businesses. They tell us the richest people in the world and all that. 90%. And other data will tell you even less than 5% in some cases fail. So my brother, it is not easy. But if you get one successful business, sometimes the impact is very big. Like the gentleman I mentioned, just Chicken Man, Pizza Man. When he started and came to NEIP for support in 2018, he was in K University, second year or third year. Look at what he's doing now. From the little support that NEIP gave him, he's able to scale the business, and now he has attracted funding from other sources to expand the business, and he's become a national company. Kudigo is at Accra Digital Center. When I started ADC, they came and set up on a tabletop a very small fintech company, helping the Makola women to calculate their stock, how much they've sold and all that. Today, he's in Nigeria, he's in Kenya, and another African country, and he's one of the beneficiaries of the Gogo startup. The one Chicken Man, Pizza Man which succeed can employ 1,000 people. So that is how the entrepreneurship thing works. You know, and I earlier mentioned that it constitutes 70% of our GDP. Every street you go to in Ghana, there is a kiosk there, right? All these kiosks and businesses, some are even virtual. It is in people's home. People are now processing fruit juice in their kitchens. They don't need to have physical spaces, but these are businesses which are running. So imagine doing an application for young people to come for support at NEIP or Ghana Enterprise Agency, and you have the capacity to support 2,000 people, and you get 100,000 applications. I mean, how are you going to support all of them? So it is also very difficult. That is why the collaboration of all the ecosystem actors, all the stakeholders are necessary. NGOs who are into supporting young people will come in, government will come in. Our banks too are lazy. They only want salary loans. If the startups go, they don't mind them. Because if you go to the mature ecosystems, yes, because of risk. If you go to the mature ecosystem, it is the banks most of the time. In addition to the venture capitalists which do this support. Because primarily, government's own is to create a conducive environment, the tax incentives, and the economic indicators which will help the businesses to thrive. You will not see government typically handing money to people like that, but they will create a conducive environment. But because we are an emerging economy and the banks don't even lend to startups, government has to come in and bring you start and do it in bits, so that if you don't get today, maybe tomorrow, you will get. So my brother, that is the nature of the space. It is difficult and very challenging. It is not easy. But when you succeed too, it is big. Who knows, you may become a big company in future, employing hundreds or thousands of people. So don't give up. All the best.
Yes, my brother. Yes, so Mr. Olu would also say a few things about this.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I've had a personal experience with your issue. And as you express it, so be it. That's how it is. Entrepreneurship is not easy, but we cannot come here and talk about the difficulties. But yes, you cannot come here and talk about the difficulties. But since you brought it up, we will confirm that it's not an easy journey. But the benefits from it, I mean, worth it. I had a same issue with two gentlemen who came to my office with about 5 million supply contracts, okay? And I have had opportunity to also work as a bank, officer that peruse such people who need that assistance. And in my consulting aspect of my work, I've also advised people based on some of these specifics that comes to us. But what we always find out is they come as individually, though they've registered as limited liability company. But I spoke of corporate governance. The structure that will be in place for the financier to say that, oh, this guy has this, that in place. So the likelihood that it will fail is low. It's not there. That structure is not there. So you realize that he has head of limited liability or a sole proprietorship, he has registered, and through his connections, he has been able to get a contract. Now, bankers have levels of risk. So if a government is giving you a contract, they know where they will put you. So though you have the contract, 5 million, they know that it will take long time before you get it. So they might not even give you. If it is other company, private company, or they profile all the risk. So when you go there and you don't have the governance structure, you don't have somebody who is auditing your account, you don't have board of directors, you don't have the shareholders there to support your business, and that's where you have all those problems. And so you turn out to be struggling more than somebody who might have all those structures in place. So if you come with 4 million contracts, another man with the same contracts, if that person has all those structures, it lowers his risk, and the appetite for the financier will be geared towards the person. And so your struggle is a normal, it's a normal, struggle. And I hope you take some lessons from here. You see, you don't need to employ so much. I have been I've been on so many books of some companies that wants financial advisors as part of. They don't pay you nothing. You just provide advice to them. You don't. When you grow and get money, you can employ the chartered accountants, blah blah blah. But you have family, you have friends who may have other strength that will contribute towards the goal that you are trying to settle. You also have colleagues, so learn how to collaborate. And maybe after school, your colleague went into banking. He may know all the credit, corners. So you can train him, he will give you advice, and then together you can grow. But if you want to do it alone, I'm afraid the suffering will be more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My brother, I couldn't agree with you more. You know, sometimes when you hear those who have already made it in business, for instance, those who are into the food business, they'll tell you they started with 1 tomato. Those into real estate will tell you they started with 1 shovel. Those into, it makes you think it's so easy. But, of course, that is why we are having this forum, okay? And we are hopeful that we'll get the support we need from the right quarters to be able to start or commission our entrepreneurship and innovation hub, where people like you can come and be advised on how to scale across or maneuver some of these difficulties. Yes, so thank you very much. Can we take the last question before I hand over the microphone to the Dean of the School of Humanities, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences? Yes, so in the absence of, he wants to just top up a little on what has been said already.
Thank you very much. What I've gathered from the speeches of the two presenters, no, is basically about people coming up with ideas to do their own businesses. But not to advertise my subject area though, but I mean to stress that businesses, entrepreneurship, thrive on economics, adequate knowledge in economics. Therefore, all the schools, departments must introduce basic economics to their programs, because finance hinges on economics, entrepreneurship hinges on economics, and businesses hinge on what? Economics. Therefore, maybe our leadership must ensure that schools, nursing, wherever you are, some basic courses in economics are taught to students so that they can have that entrepreneurial spirit from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so on this economic notes, we bring the program to an end. And let me say, we've all done so well. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? I want to now hand over the microphone to the chairperson to give the closing remark. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would still like to stand on the protocols established earlier. Thanks to bring proceedings to a close. We have today had the benefit of listening to experts, two key experts on the central theme for today's occasion. Our first speaker, Honorable Kofi Ofosun Kansa, took us through the discourse on the roles of business schools and industry in developing the next generation of entrepreneurs and innovators, basically in Ghana. He gave a very illuminating address that seeks to encourage young university graduates not to go and join the Association of Unemployed Graduates in Ghana, but to begin to engage in establishing small-scale enterprises, the SMEs, and also startups. And then the encouraging part of his address is that there are supporting facilities and resources in the country that can help them do that. He concluded his address by advising all of us, particularly the young graduates, to, as Ghanaians, to focus on building an entrepreneurial state. That if we have the culture, the ethos, the spirit of entrepreneurial thing, it will assist us tremendously. But the essence, the central essence of the address is that a business school and industry can partner and collaborate. And then, for me, the most mundane and enriching statement came from him at the tail end by pledging the support from his entity in setting up the center that is on the drawing board of the business school, the Center of Excellence that we want to set up here, the hub, innovation hub that we intend to set up here. And so, Honorable Kofi, we thank you for that commitment, and every day our eyes and our arms will be ready to receive that support. We thank you very much for that. The second speaker, Mr. Bimpon, also took us through how to get away from crisis, the type of crisis that the other speaker was talking about. The crises do come. He gave us the advice that it is always better to be able to identify the crisis early enough before it generates into something, a monster that might collapse your business. So an early detection of that can prevent a very serious problem. And like Honorable Kofi, he also, Mr. Bimpon, also ended up with an advice that it is the advice he gave that he emphasized several times was that it is always better to be able to identify the crisis early enough and then redress it and save your company. He gave, before the advice, he had mentioned the 3 pillars of sustainability: the environmental, social, and the governance issues, and then elaborated enough. He emphasized several times that these have been mentioned and that if not because of time constraint, he could have elaborated more and more, which really means that he's available for consultation and contact. So his address does not conclude or terminate the relationship that he has established with us at Wisconsin. He's available to sustain that relationship in the future interaction. We are also grateful as an institution for the sponsorship, the interest, the relationship that Enterprise Pay and HR Focus have also established with us. And we look forward to sustaining that relationship, and then we would humbly ask for more in our future interactions. We thank you very much for your attention, and more importantly, for your availability, and even the discipline, that you have demonstrated here today shows that you have a great love for the institution, and please keep it up. I want to thank you all for coming, and always remember that the event is a week-long event of the business school. You understand? This is a week-long activity, and they would continue to roll out the other activities that have been slated for the week. We thank you so much, and on this note, I think I would call on the MC to continue with the closing things.
I think the chairman deserves a round of applause for steering the program to a successful end. And also to say that we've reserved these people for special mention, the Friends of Wisconsin Business School, who have given us so much support in diverse ways. Let's give them a round of applause. Wherever they are, we say a big thank you to you. My attention has also been drawn to the fact that we have all sessions here. Do we have weekend students here? Please show by hands. Yes, we have evening students here. Are you here? Yes, you came in your numbers. And thank you so much for making the program a success. Kayla, my attention has been drawn. You kept referring to our good doctor as Mr. Adai. He's Dr. Adai. He's ended. Okay. All right. So let's give ourselves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. May I please invite Mrs. Ivy Nkansa to give us the vote of thanks. Inketia, sorry. Mrs. Ivy Inketia, my apologies.
Good afternoon, everyone. My job here is very simple, and I'll keep it that way. A lot of it has been done by our president and our MC. So I feel very honored that I was part of this program. and it has been a wonderful experience. I hope you had a wonderful experience as well. They say that gratitude turns what we have into enough. And I hope you feel that way today as you leave here. I have to thank some people, and I'll start by extending our extreme gratitude to our special guests and speakers today. Mr. Kofi Ofosu in Kansa, thank you so much for honoring our invitation and sharing those wonderful thoughts with us. Mr. Bernard Bimpong, we extend the same gratitude to you. There are some things we have heard that even us as lecturers are going to put into our curriculum and place a lot of emphasis on that. We bring gratitude also to Express Pay, who have partnered with us and supported us in many ways. Our MC mentioned the Friends of the Business School. They know themselves, and we bring gratitude to you as well. We thank you for supporting us in many, many, many ways to do this. I also bring our gratitude to our council chair who has been here with us. I say thank you. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you for supporting us. I thank our chairman, President of Wisconsin, Professor Obim Reku, for ably chairing this event. We bring thanks to our registrar, Mr. Aidanakwa, for being here with us. What can I say to our dean, who has spearheaded this and actually brought this first edition of our Business Week into fruition. Thank you, Dr. Maudo. Thank you very much. I bring gratitude, thanks also to our deans who have been here with us, our HODs, our lecturers, and our students. In fact, some of you, we had to threaten you and all that. But here you are. And all the things we promised that you will get when you come, you have gotten some already, and the rest will follow. You will receive all of that. I can't leave here without thanking our organizers. I really want to bring appreciation to Mr. Hefron and his team for working behind the scenes for this program. I want to thank Mr. Nuruddin and his staff too. You have done what others couldn't do. Thank you. And I bring thanks to, and for the support, the business school office, our staff. Our support staff has also done a lot for this program to be what it is today. So a round of applause for all of us, for all the participants who made today's event a very, very memorable one. Thank you, all of you present here, for making time to be with us today and making this event a success. Thank you, one and all, and we thank God Almighty who gifted us with this day. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Ivy, for thanking us. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the program, but let me remind you, just as the VC mentioned, this is a week-long celebration. Tomorrow, we are having a workshop on effective pitching. Those of you who want to hear more from Kayla, she's likely to be here to coach us. And then on Friday is where we get to hear from some of our students who will pitch their business ideas and see if they can win something. There are prizes for all of them. I wouldn't mention them now. Come on Friday at 11:30 to witness the exciting event. Once again, on my own behalf, on behalf of the business school and the university, I want to say a big thank you for all of you. After the closing prayer, we'll do a photo session here. The dignitaries will meet on the first floor for the refreshment. As you step out, please pick up your refreshment. I want to invite Madam Vivienne Nana Masimson to give us the closing prayer. Let's give it up for her, please.
Hallelujah. Can we please be on our feet as we thank the Most High God for such a wonderful program? We are praying. Heavenly Father, we thank you. Daddy, we are so much grateful unto you, O Lord, for how far you've brought us. Father, we say it is you, O Lord. You from the planning stage up till now. You from the beginning of this program today, and you at the end of it. We thank you for the knowledge that has been imparted unto us. We ask, O God, that your purpose, O God, for this program, O God, will be achieved through us. As we go and make use of it in our various offices, in our various workplaces. We thank you, we bless you. We ask that as we journey back home, you will take us back home safely. Then we bring us back to school for us to continue what we always do. In Jesus' mighty name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Please, photographers, can we please?